Wow! Have you seen how things are going fast these days? Everything is constantly changing. Consumers are more and more demanding, they want more and more new products, and they want more and more packaging that gives them convenience. Okay? And on the retail side, it's the same. You have to keep the shelves full and avoid stockouts. This impacts the way you produce overall. Even there are new forms of distribution like e-commerce that change the game. So I've heard there is a solution to help you meet these challenges. It's called line control. Let's come with me backstage at Sidel and we'll meet some experts who will provide us explanation on the subject. Hello Vincent.
Hello Sylvain.
We are here in the test center of the conveying business unit. This is where they test the conveyability, the stability of the various containers that they have to deal with on the conveyors. So, Vincent, can you shed some light on the line control, the regulation principle?
The principle of regulation is everywhere in our everyday life at all levels. The blood system or the nervous system in the human body, also the water flow in an hydraulic system, and also the traffic of cars and even the air traffic. In fact, as soon as we talk about regulation, we talk about a flow which needs to be controlled and challenged, and also within all sub-functions of the system, to make sure that they will run constantly. And if you don't do that, of course your system will become in big troubles, especially when it comes to efficiency.
Well, those examples, they speak for themselves. Okay, but how do you transport that into the packaging line control?
I can suggest to go and see a special device that we have made for this special occasion.
Well, that's great. Let's have a look at it.
Let's go.
So, tell me Vincent, how does this device work exactly?
It's very simple. So you see the different boxes. Each box represents a machine in a packaging line. And the liquid represents the flow of product which is going to be produced on this line. But you see there is a special box, meaning a special machine, which is called the critical machine. In every packaging line there is a machine which is running at the lowest speed. This one is usually called a critical machine. It's like a bit a rope line. Within this rope line, there is one guy usually who's walking at the lowest speed, meaning that the rope line will walk at this speed because all the guys together are tied up.
Okay, makes sense. So, how does it transpose into a packaging line?
In most of the cases, the critical machine is running the slowest.
Yeah.
It is the one that you don't want to stop. And for this reason, you need to protect it and then to make a line regulation. So here you see everything is running, the flow is constant, and here you see the critical machine, which is also running. So Sylvain, would you please close the tap just to simulate that the upstream machine has a failure?
Okay, as you please.
Thanks. And as you see, the critical machine is stopping after very few seconds. So now, as we did before, I'm going to simulate a stop at the downstream machine as we did on the upstream machine.
Okay, so I see, and despite the fact that we still have the upstream machine supplying the critical machine, it stopped because of the further machine downstream.
okay, it's now time to put a buffer just before the critical machine. Here, what you see and what we have installed to solve this issue is we just put accumulations before and after the critical machine.
And how do these buffers work?
This buffer is there to store products within the packaging line in case of one machine is stopped, to release the accumulation, or downstream to release the products to make sure that the line is still and always running. Now, I ask you to simulate a failure on the upstream machine by just closing the tap.
Just like I did before. Okay. So now the upstream machine is down.
As you see, as we have products in the buffer, the critical machine is still running, even if the upstream machine is down.
The operator has some extra time to repair the upstream machine and restore it into production.
And you see here, the upstream machine has restarted in an overspeed, a higher speed than the critical machine, in order to regenerate the number of containers inside the buffer to protect it again in case of a new failure could happen on the upstream machine.
So, by that rationality, I understand also that we want to protect the critical machine from the stoppages of the downstream machine. To do that, I guess, Vincent, we need to keep the downstream buffer empty.
At least almost empty. And it is the case here. Now, we're going to simulate a stoppage on the downstream machine and see what's going to happen. So I simulate the stoppage by closing this tab, and you see that the critical machine is still green, is still running, because we have still space and time enough in the buffer to accept all the products coming from the critical machine. Now, of course, this buffer is big enough to cover that stoppage, and if I restart, of course, the downstream machine will restart at another speed to be able to empty again the buffer to become at a level which is acceptable to cover the next stop. This is a combination between buffer and speed.
So I understand. Now we have a line equipped with accumulation, okay? And this accumulation allows it to run continuously, immune to the most common stoppages of the machines around the critical machine. All right, but now, how does this translate into line efficiency?
Just to give you an idea, let's check out with our calculator. So please come and follow me.
Yeah, okay, let's go.